Show away the Irish. Show away the Irish. Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, my voice is struggling. It's those fall allergies, the sinuses. I can't quite crank it up. I'm telling you, weird week. Weird week. One that has me a little bit thrown off. This has been a odd week in Notre Dame land specifically. And I hope it doesn't mean anything tomorrow. I pray that it doesn't mean anything tomorrow. But this has been a really weird week in certain ways in Notre Dame land that I'm not used to and that I'm experiencing here and on Twitter and in my real life. And we're going to go over it. All right. This is something feels off. Something feels off. Let's get into this, all right? So first off, thank you for being here. Obviously, you can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. By the way, speaking of subscribing, I've gained a bunch of subscribers this week. But I know damn well it has nothing to do with my Notre Dame coverage. Let's just put it that way. I've gained a lot of random subscribers, and it has nothing to do with me talking about Notre Dame. It's all the other stuff going on. I made a lot of friends from other Big Ten teams. I'll tell you that this week. That's what I'll say. I am a new friend to a lot of fans of Big Ten teams that are not located in Ann Arbor. Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm happy to have you. I hope you stick around. And don't just come here when I go at Michigan, all right? But welcome in, and I really appreciate everybody who's joined up, okay? Thumbs up, that way it helps me in the algorithm, and then YouTube knows people like what this idiot's saying in his basement, send it out to other people, whatever. Notifications, and then you will alert it every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails, always Irish Andy at gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. The call-in lines. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all that Michigan's illegally heard and seen. Bro, I should not have this much fun with that story, but I'm having too much fun with it. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I know it's immature. I know that I'm being a troll. I know that all this stuff hasn't been proven. And I know that I'm going hard on it. I know all that. Yet, and still, I don't regret a damn minute of it. I don't regret one damn minute of spending all this time this week going to Michigan. I regret none of it. Outside of, I think, celebrating what USC did right in the aftermath, or what Notre Dame did to USC right in the aftermath, my next favorite thing this year is whipping up all these Michigan people and getting them all mad. I know that's immature. I have had so much fun trolling them on Twitter every single minute just for fun. It's just fun. Why am I not allowed to have that fun? When Notre Dame can't add up how many people should be on the field. Everybody had fun at my expense. Now I get a chance to go at them and it's like out of bounds. Oh, you need to rein it in. Screw that. So whatever. And that's a part of the weirdness of this whole week. And I'm a part of it. And it may be a problem. And I may be responsible for some of that. I don't know. But there's no way I was letting this Michigan thing go without ripping them. There's just no chance. There's no chance. And the other thing with USC, oh my God. I didn't even get through the introduction. And now we're already into Michigan and USC. Here's the deal with USC. In the last week, Lincoln Riley has said to the media two things that are hilarious. Eric, thank you so much. Thanks for the donation. I really appreciate you. Miss you, Eric. Thanks for being here. Lincoln Riley has said, one, I don't know where these championship expectations come from at USC. You know, I don't know where that came from. It's a media-driven narrative. And then the next thing the USC media does is scroll back and find like 5 different stories where he talked about literally that being the story, or that being the goal is we expect those, you know, championships and all that. So he said that like 5 times, so that's not true. Then he said to the media yesterday, I think the recruiting's right where I thought it would be or whatever. You look at rivals, they're ranked like 25th. This dude's struggling out there in LA. He's losing his mind. I'm glad we're the ones who put the first big clear crack in it this year and let it all crumble. So that guy's out of his mind. Now he has no expectations to win anything. And he's happy with the 25th recruiting class. Like, this dude is whatever, man. LA, go for it. Like, what a freaking weirdo. Pat, good morning. Good to see you. All right, let's get through the rest of the introduction. Yeah, Adam says, how about Pitt? That's my point. That's my point. And I know I'm a part of the problem. Like, I admit I know I'm a part of the problem of not focusing on Pitt all week and doing 2 videos trolling Michigan instead. Like, I don't like the way that feels to me. I'm glad I did it. It was so much, you know how much more fun I had talking about that Michigan story than breaking down Pitt? Like, I always shoot you guys honest. Not everything I say makes sense or you agree. I'll give you the truth where I'm at. Do you know how much? It was exponentially more fun for me to write the bullet points to talk about Michigan scandal than for me to dig through Pat Narduzzi quotes and talk about Phil running his mouth and now he's a tackling dummy in the tight end room. James says, will Hartman throw a pass more than 30 yards? God, I hope so. No wonder I'd rather talk about everything else when we're over here trying to figure out if we could pass the ball down the field in week 9 with the transfer quarterback with more passing accolades than you could dream of. Hartman's got more passing accolades than Connor Stallions has ideas about to take over the Michigan program, okay? Cheat again for sure. Cheaters and best. That's what they are. And then, oh baby. I woke up today. You know what I've been doing all week. You wake up first thing in the morning and you hope there's another news drip nailing Michigan. That's been my week. Oh, John, that's immature. Grow up. I can't. I admit that has been so fulfilling to me. Whether it's true or not, just seeing them all lose their minds it soothes my soul to see those people be all worked up. It just does. That's how much I dislike them. Okay? Dr. John says, John, I hope your inattention to Pitt doesn't affect the performance of the team. I don't know whether that's like in jest saying that like we all know what I say doesn't matter on what Notre Dame does on Saturdays. I know that. Here's my angle with it, Dr. John. Me doing what I do is a unique arrangement. And as such, every day and every week, I get these literal analytic meter readings on where the Notre Dame fan base is at from Twitter and that engagement, from the YouTube numbers, from the USA Today Irish Wire article numbers, from the analytics on the podcast, the analytics here on the live streams, the analytics on the preview videos for the games. All those numbers have been in the dumpster all week. I expected it the first week of the bye. But now that we were back into game week, I really thought it would trend back up and we would have this big energy burst of Notre Dame fans ready to get back at it and see our boys back out there and like excited for Notre Dame again. Everything on social media has been pushed to everything else. That's what I've seen. Everything on social media has been pushed to getting involved with the Michigan stuff, ripping USC a little bit. That has been it. There has not been enough Notre Dame Pitt talk. I admit that I am a part of it. I admit that I'm a part of it. But at the same time, though, the other reason I don't feel bad about it is it's just business. You have this huge national drama going on. If I put a video out on it, it's going to get run. And so, like, it's a good business decision, too, for me to opine. And the fact that I really do openly hate them, it's not like that's not genuine. I'm just a little uncomfortable with how far we have all taken it away from Pitt. That's the part of it. And I admit I'm a part of that problem. So let's get into this a little more. And I do have some Pitt things I want to go over. And then I hope the next thing that happens when this show is done is I open Twitter and there's that report that's allegedly out there that this one's way out there, that the Ohio State people are trying to say that there was a cloud hacked from a Michigan email, a Michigan account that had access to their stuff. I'm seeing that this morning. I want it to be true, but I'll leave it at that. I don't know. I can't help myself. I hate those people and that place so much that this stuff's like crack to me. It's just give me another hit. I need that hit. Anyways, let's get through the introduction. That was 13 minutes ago. My word. I'm off the tracks this week. Audio only anywhere you want it. Yeah, we did all that. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Me and Mike Goolsby, outspoken guy in his basement, former Notre Dame captain, who's very outspoken as well. Mike only knows one speed, and it's intensity. Everything, that's it. I love it. He has one setting, and it's let's go, and I love that. Speaking of that, I'm going to announce this now. Because of the weird week and some stuff I have going on, we're going to do something different for our tailgate pregame party. Rather than that being this evening, it's going to be right before the game tomorrow. And it's going to be Mike Goolsby and I drinking beers and talking to you about Notre Dame football. That's what we're going to do. About an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes before the game. We are going live on YouTube. It's not a Patreon behind the paywall thing. This is live on YouTube. It is very simply just going to be a tailgate party. We're going to drink beer. We're going to meet with you guys, and we're just going to talk about Notre Dame and the games going on and everything else. I will put out a link for that. I did a video last night, a little promo for it. I'll put out another one. But that's what we're going to do. So about an hour and a half before the game, tune in to my YouTube channel, and it's going to be me and Goolsby drinking beer, talking football with you guys. All right, I want you to chat stuff, whatever's on your mind. It's not going to be a call-in. It's just going to be like a real quick party, and we're going to chat, me and Mike going back and forth about the game. So we're hoping you guys will join us tomorrow when you're having a pregame beer. It's going to be fun. Okay? And before I get too far into this, I want to make sure to mention our new sponsor, the ND Subway Alumni.com. This is a fantastic company I am involved with now, business relationship. They want to honor the legacy of all the ND Subway alumni, find a place for everyone to meet and feel welcome and be a part of Notre Dame in their own way. Very happy to partner with them. They're right on my mission. Regular, good, hardworking Notre Dame people. They have gear. They got cool stuff. The Lewski, the Shotsky, they have their own, and it's called the Lewski. And it is officially sponsored by Lou Holtz. There's some stuff coming up with that soon that we will like to show here. But a great group of people, really nice, love Notre Dame, want to spread the mission of Notre Dame and represent those Subway alumni who are a big reason Notre Dame is the brand that it is. It would not be the same without the Subway alums and how much they love Notre Dame. So make sure you go over there and check them out, buy a t-shirt, get a Lewski, whatever it is. We're trying to build this community, okay? So thank you to them. Let's do a couple super chats, and then I got a couple phone calls here. Again, I'm on alert. I don't like the way this week feels. And I want to admit, I know I'm a part of the problem. I know, like, I'm self-aware enough to know I perpetuated the very issue that I'm worried about. I helped perpetuate all week. And I have my reasons for doing it. Some of them are business, so that kind of changes things. When there's a big scandal and you have a YouTube channel, you hit it, and it's going to do good. Like, that's business. I admit I'm uncomfortable. 419, I'm coming right to you. I admit I'm uncomfortable with that, and that is it's my fault. So I just hope the Notre Dame team does not reflect the energy I've seen from the fan base and from Twitter. There is barely any Notre Dame Pitt talk on my Twitter timeline. It is all the Michigan, Ohio State stuff and a little bit of make fun of USC. I'm just telling you, it's not what you want coming out of a bye with the big home game tomorrow. I'm sure the team isn't going to be like I am. I know that. I don't like the vibes. Even if I'm responsible for some of them, I don't like them. $20 holler from Eric, my lawyer in Michigan. John, I must say, I'm more interested in the NCAA going nuclear on Michigan than I am ND playing a shitty Pitt team. I hope the boys are ready to play. Eric, that is the exact sentiment I'm feeling. And it makes me very uncomfortable, even though I admit it's true. Like, that's how I feel too. I still need Notre Dame to go win and look good tomorrow. But I admit, in the buildup, dude, I can only talk about Pat Narduzzi being a whiny little biatch so many times. There's no juice with Pitt. At least if you had Phil out there, you would have a reason to create a narrative. Notre Dame against Phil, and he's chirpy, but hasn't earned the right to be. That would at least be something. It can't be something if he's a tackling dummy on the tight end practice squad or whatever he's doing. Why am I delayed? There, I'm back. The hell's going on? Thanks, Eric. I really appreciate the down now. $5 holler from the V1 Rotate. Did you see that Cam Rising, the Notre Dame transfer portal rumor? He's out this year, still has a year of eligibility. Could be misinformation. No, there's no misinformation on the internet. Right? Especially this week. I did see that. And V1, it's interesting you bring that up. That's one of my actual Notre Dame notes that I had. I did actually have some. Freeman said, I believe yesterday, in his press conference, he said after this, when they're on the second bye, so after Clemson, him and the staff are going to get together and discuss the notion of going to the portal again versus just having what you have in the building and then growing it and going with one of the guys we had. And that's interesting because we just talked about Notre Dame needs to get that right. And that is a huge, along with offensive coordinator, that is one of the huge decisions that needs to be handled correctly to set Notre Dame up right for whatever's coming next. With the young quarterbacks, Deuce and Carr and all that, you got to line all this up and have a pecking order that makes sense. And you got to anoint the right guy whenever you actually anoint one. It's got to be the right, whether that's year 2 Carr or whoever it's going to be. When you actually hook your anchor to somebody long-term for a few years and let them grow, you got to make sure you pick the right one and you time it right. That is a great way to mess up everything going on, is if you mess up that quarterback discussion and then you mess it up, anoint the wrong guy, the other guys that should have been anointed leave, and then the guy you picked isn't good at, like, this could fall apart bad if you don't do it right. This could really blow up on you if you don't navigate it right. So whatever, I need you to get in that meeting and have a really strong evaluation on all the guys in the building already, all the guys coming in your building in the next recruiting classes, and have a list of all the potential guys that may be transfer targets. And the other thing you do is, all this shit's back channeled. Do not think for a second that all this quarterback portal stuff is not. By the time a guy enters the portal, there's usually a plan of where he's going. Like, I'm not breaking news to you guys, but by the time you see a name in the portal, that's not when the discussions start and people start calling him to say, do you want to play here? That stuff's in the works way before then. Throw out some feelers. If there's anybody, Cam Rising, if there's anybody you're interested in before you make this decision, throw some feelers in the water behind the scenes. Like, that's how that game is navigated. That's how it goes. And you're not breaking whatever. You figure out if a guy's interested. You got to get that right if you're Notre Dame, or you're going to screw up everything. You're going to screw up everything. So I need those evaluations to be spot on. They need to be accurate evaluations of where the guys in the building are at. And then you need to look at the benefit you could get of bringing somebody on the outside in. It's a major calculation Notre Dame's got to get right. Got to get right. $20 holler from Mike. Thank you so much, Mike in Oklahoma. Here's some philanthropy money for the Ohio State podcast for coming here and contributing. Love his perspectives. ND 50, Pitt 12. Ooh, I like that. Ohio State 3, Wisconsin 84. That's funny too. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the Ohio podcast guys are good. I said it before, man. I just can't not like those guys. It just, even when we were playing them and whatever, and I was sad after we lost and they were happy, I just can't not like those guys because they're too genuinely nice. And it really upsets me. It just bothers me to no end that I can't not like these people. It's so easy for me to not like people. It bothers me. I can't go there with them. Really upsetting. Just quite disturbing, to be honest. Oh, man. I'm telling you, it is 10 Steven Arado. Good to see you. 10-2 is the mission. Here's the deal. You can't go 4-0 unless you go 1-0. I need Notre Dame to just take care of Pitt. And I got some things I got a bullet point of things I'm looking for tomorrow to go over. I'm going to take a couple phone calls and I'll get back to that. I don't want to make people wait too much. I got a 419 and a 937. Thank you so much, Tom. $20 holler. And again, I hope you and your wife are doing well. It was lovely seeing you at the tailgate for Central. Although I got to admit, man, I did not get a lot of time to talk to you guys because there was so much going on and people and moving parts. I did not really get a lot of time to pull you guys aside and talk to you. Hopefully we could get together again soon. I felt bad about that. 419, you are on the line. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
I had weird week, man. Weird week. Weird week.
Weird week. Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff, and now I got to remember what I was going to say. You got me all stressed about worrying about our quarterback. next year.
I didn't.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I didn't want to throw you off the trail here. I just I just want to bring it up. Jay, the pregame tailgates on YouTube, that is not behind a paywall. That's something we want to do out in public for everybody to join. That is not behind the Patreon wall. That's on my YouTube, just like this. Everybody will be able to access it. Good question. Sorry about that. Yeah, man, I just, Notre Dame needs to get that right, or it's going to mess up what all this needs to turn into down the road. So they got to have a very good evaluation. They got to have a really accurate, it can't be what they think. They got to have a real accurate representation of where these people are at. Okay. So I need that.
It feels like we're going to be dealing with this all the time, but Pitt sucks. I'm not worried about tomorrow.
They're bad. There's not a lot of meat on the bone, man. They're 2-5. It's a rough. The only thing I can point to is, you know what? They were able to beat the shit out of a team that beat the shit out of us. Does that register to you at all? Like the Louisville thing
against Wolford.
Or was that Louisville came off their Super Bowl against us and they were out of their minds, like dead, and then they read their own headlines and walked, and that was it. Like that's the one thing, man, that I don't know what to make of. Is that part of it. And I think it comes down to Louisville reading their own headlines, got done with their Super Bowl and forgot to show up the next week. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I think this 4-game stretch is like super manageable, and we need to not only win but look good to get some faith restored in this coaching staff. Like, personally, I can't imagine Parker does anything that makes me want to bring his ass back. I feel like the damage is done, the games are lost.
Here's the other question, though. Let me ask you this. Here's the question about that I want to ask. People are going to say, this 4-game segment, it's broken up after the bye. Like, Parker really needs to show us some stuff here and have this back on the uptrend. Here's the problem with that, though. You should be on an uptrend because these back 4 teams don't play the defense the last 4 played. Like, take USC out of it, but I mean all the other defenses in that stretch. Like, I just feel like we're going to say he's got to put it on now, but these defenses aren't as good. So how much credit are you going to give him for doing that?
Yeah, I've been done with Parker all year.
But it's Marcus. That's the biggest question here. It isn't about me and you being done with nothing. I want to know, in Marcus's brain and heart and soul, I want to know where he's at on this project. Is it like, you're my road dog, we're going to work through this? Or is he sitting there thinking, man, I can't wait till I can get somebody in here to get this offense going? I don't know where Marcus is at. And that I just don't know. I don't know.
I feel bad for him because they hired Reese before Freeman had the job. So Reese got thrown on him. And then the second hire, he had to settle for Parker.
Yeah. And so that's a that is a really good point. Both of those guys were kind of put there in a way. And then, the other thing too is, now in retrospect, I think I would be pretty successful in arguing both Freeman and Reese would have been better off if they parted ways when Freeman got the job, and have a clean break between have a clean break between the Kelly era and the Freeman era and those egos, and let Tommy go do his own thing and create his brand and all that stuff. Like, in retrospect, I think it would have been better to have a clean break for everybody, and Freeman can establish his own DNA into Notre Dame, and then Tommy could go spread his wings. But I do understand why people at Notre Dame felt more comfortable keeping Tommy in the building that first year. I do get that. But it
made sense at the time.
Yeah, it did. But the way it played out and learning some of those dynamics behind the scenes, I think it would have been better to have a clean break and everybody does their own damn thing. Brandon, good to see you. Checking in finally from Georgia. Brandon, South Bend guy, good friend, moved to Georgia. Good to see you, man. He's got that always Irish flag representing in Georgia. I gave it to him to take. And so we're representing the show in Georgia. So I don't know, man. There's no juice for this Pitt game. Does that mean we're going to see Notre Dame sleepwalk out of the bye, or are they going to come with a new energy, ready to go?
Thanks for taking the call.
Have a good one.
Take it easy.
Wait a second. Bro, wait. Am I the one that, am I the only one? I thought I was in the middle of the conversation with him. I asked him a question. He's like, thanks for taking the call. Am I the only one dreaming that? Am I the only one? Oh, 386. I see you. I think you tried to call the other day, or somebody did for there, and I couldn't get to you. Let me get to you. 937 first, 386 after that. 937. What's going on?
What's up, Johnny boy? I've never seen you get dismissed on your own show before.
Telling you, man. I just thought we were in the middle of that discussion. Come on, Mark.
Man, that was
Mark,
you did you dirty, bro.
Mark,
you're
killing me on that, Mark. It's just the funniest shit. I'm like, wait a second. Am I wrong? He said, sorry, John. I thought I was getting wrapped up. You weren't getting wrapped up. I was getting you cranked up. I wanted to keep going. I thought maybe the guy, like, something happened and you got to get off the phone real quick. The boss walked in. I love it, Mark. You're a gem, Mark. I love Mark. Mark's got a unique personality that I could blend with in a weird way. That was just funny to me. What's going on? What's on your mind, 937?
Just waiting to go 4-0, waiting to go 11-2 at the end of the year. Big New Year's Six bowl game. Win it by at least 2 touchdowns. Let's go.
Hey, you can't go 4-0 on the back end till you start out 1-0. All right. The mission is a lot simpler now throughout. You had a bye, a 2-game stretch, a bye, and then 2 bad teams. Like, this is all right in front of you. So my plan is play good tomorrow coming out of that bye, beat them by a lot. Then we feel like we're trending up and have more confidence going to Clemson. And we go from there. Like, that's the plan. I need to see it, bro. This can't be 2 minutes till halftime, and it's Notre Dame 10 and Pitt 7. I am not here for that tomorrow, man. I'm not here for that. I'm not.
I think our team matured a lot during the 2 losses. And I think Pitt's Super Bowl was Louisville last week. So, like,
yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing that happened to us. I mean, it's the exact same game that we had with USC. 5 turnovers, away team. Everything was trending for USC, the same thing everyone was trending for Louisville, except for Louisville is not built for that moment. They're built for, like, an upset and then call it the rest of the season. Like, all right, man, you got your lucky shot in.
Yeah.
Pack it up, call it a night.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and the other thing is, too, Narduzzi is so unlikable. He is so blatantly, completely easy to dislike. Everything about the whole Pitt thing is easy to dislike. There's no energy, no juice. They're not good. Like, I just need to see Notre Dame come out. Let me put it this way. Maybe this is the easiest way I could put it. I want to see Notre Dame come out and show that they're excited to get back on the field. Like, is that not fair? You've had a half a month off. You're coming off a big rival win. I just need to feel from my TV that I could see those guys are excited to get back out there, play with an energy, play with the spark, and go try and beat this team. That's all I'm asking for.
But there is a small, like, little end, though, for the game, a little pizzazz, if you will. Bill Jurosic still plays for that Pitt team. I feel like he's like the one girlfriend that we dumped a while ago that just won't leave us alone.
Yeah, but the
my
problem
brother in Christ called it.
The problem is he's not even the starting quarterback. He's a backup tight end now. So I can't really squeeze any juice out of that fruit.
Oh, I can. Absolutely. Hate everybody, bro.
Yeah.
If you got hate in your heart, John, let it out.
If you got hate.
Like,
I don't know if I don't know if you pulled that from where I remember that from. But if you did, it was
it was 100%.
If you got hate in your heart, let it out.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that when you're talking about the Ohio State guys.
I can't
Remember, I live
understand
in
you.
Ohio.
I can't understand you. Come back.
I'm just saying, dog. You gotta
That
hate your
was-
heart and let it
That
out.
was
That's
one
all
of
I'm saying.
the most funny pieces of comedy history I've ever. If you got hate in your heart, let it out. Just everything about it. What is it that you don't like about them? How much time you got, buddy? I just can't.
Right. That's how I feel about other teams.
I say
100%.
that. I
is
say
like,
that all the time. Like when it's like, "What's your problems with Michigan? How much time you got, buddy?" Like all day, man, all day.
You insert team and or fan base, and that's how I live my life.
Yeah, that's funny.
I am the Clayton Bigsby of college football, my boy.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it a buck.
Oh my!
Nah, everyone can get it.
Yeah,
everyone can get it.
That is, I'm with you, man. Football hate is real love. Like that's what I literally mean. Football hate is real love. Like there's nothing like it. It's unique. So I don't know, man. I want to see. The offense needs to look more efficient. I need this offense to come out and look like they actually put in good work over the bye. And I just want to see it be more efficient. Can I get some new looks, some new wrinkles, and then be more efficient at what you're already doing? Do I ask for too much? Come on.
I don't want that. Like, whatever happened to that dual running back look that we had, basically giving us a fullback, but we would run it with Payne and like Price. Man, put Audric in there as a fullback, my baby. Like, what is we doing? Like,
yeah,
we already have the tool set up, but like once we start going real good with it, we just put it back in our back pocket. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
it's the same thing with Holden Stays. Kid has 3 tutties in a game, and all of a sudden he's going to just have a seat. Like, no, he's still on the roster. He's still right there. Like, put him in the game. What are we doing?
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Yeah, here's what I'm trying to prevent, man. I don't want to get my hopes up that I'm going to see this rejuvenated offense or whatever and be disappointed tomorrow. Like that's where my brain's really at. The most intense part of this that I'm thinking about is I don't want to be let down when we're all hoping they got a lot of work done over those 2 weeks and they're going to look a lot better. And then they don't tomorrow. Notre Dame fans are going to be upset about that after a half a month of no games and all that. Like you expect in the bye theoretically to be getting better. I don't want to be disappointed by that tomorrow and go, the bye didn't do anything. The offense is still bad. Like I don't want to be in that position on the post-game show. I really don't.
Well, John, first off, being an Notre Dame fan, we're going to be upset about something no matter what.
Now that is absolutely correct. It's just a matter of what it's going to be. It's just a matter of what it's going to be and the extent. You're right. You're right. My whole life.
You're asking a cat not to meow right now, but like, come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are we doing?
There's always something.
I'm looking for W's. You don't ask how, you ask how many. I know this is our best chance now to build off of hopefully 4-0, a New Year's Six berth, and a New Year's Six win, which is something Brian Kelly Weiss.
Yep.
I mean, I know I'm digging back in the archives, but that's what I'm looking for in this season, to build off of that and then go like, all right, we got that monkey off the back. Let's go ahead and keep building off this. I mean, Clemson didn't just start winning national championships out of the blue. No, they had to go ahead and do it the hard way. Same with Georgia. Georgia could never beat Bama. Then all of a sudden they beat Bama. Next thing you know, they're off to the races. Our New Year's Six Bowl that's our hill. We got to die on that hill.
Now wait, can I ask you this? I have seen conflicting reports of whether Notre Dame will even get one of those New Year's Six Bowls if they end 10-2. Does it depend on like who loses and we need this conference team to go over there? Like I'm seeing doubts of whether even at 10-2, it's a lock for Notre Dame to be in one of those biggest games. I don't know what the reality of that is. I don't know enough about that bowl thing because unless it's the playoff, it all annoys me. So I don't, and it's like almost mocks good football when you're in one of these half-ass bowls that nobody cares about. Like, so that's annoying and I don't research it a lot. I don't know. Is 10-2 good enough to get us in?
Yeah, I think it was a great deal in Nutella that once said before our last bowl game, they're going to learn a hard lesson today that we're Notre Dame and they're not. Notre Dame travels, baby. Like,
Yeah.
no, Notre Dame puts asses in the seats, and that's what they care about for bowls, which is just money.
Yeah.
So half the time we'll get in just because we're Notre Dame, we're better than everybody else. Sucks.
Yeah.
Privilege sucks. What do you do? So no, I think 10-2 gets us in. And I mean, we already have big wins over other people, and we always perform well, especially these last couple seasons. So let's go.
Yeah.
And we're like the sexy team right now.
Yeah. And,
You know, you got first.
hello?
You wrapping me up or what?
Yeah, no, you cut
Yeah?
out. You cut out a little bit. Yeah, nothing. It was just blank. There wasn't even static. What is going on? Is this Halloween? I'm getting haunted.
I didn't know if you were going to get paid back for old boy
disappeared.
on me. Like,
No, there was no static. There was no nothing. I'm getting haunted at my own show today or something. I don't know what's going on. The hell?
we're doing the best we can with what we got. We got to get through it, though, my guy. The people need you. You're like the people's champ. Come on.
There we go. Hey, we're going to do it. So anything else now, we'll wrap you up. Anything else on the way out, man? I like the energy, and I like that Clayton reference.
Yes. The one last thing I got to say is you put a video out yesterday speaking your normal tone about Michigan. But I got to say, I did comment about how much I love that you got lined up to talk that sweet shit on tonight. I appreciate the lineup. Like, the haircut game is on point. The uptown fade, my baby, looks good on you. That's all I got. Go Irish.
Thank you. Oh man, that's funny. The uptown fade. Yeah. You know what my uptown fade is? It's called going bald and having a receding hairline because of Notre Dame football. Dr. John says, total offense, Parker 52, Ludwig 98. And what do we make of this? 386 coming up, 407 after that. And it's like, what do we make of that? I don't know. There's a bunch of different things you could put into that calculus. One is, what? John, you better take that necklace off because Pitt is going to smoke the Irish. This fan base is delusion. I'll get back to that. Must be a Michigan fan in hiding or something with that logic. Total offense. So what do we make of this? Number one is, you could argue that Utah doesn't have as much overall weapons, and whatever their offense is doing, it's with the guy that isn't supposed to be their starting quarterback. So that's where I have a hard time breaking some of that down because their starting quarterback's not playing all year. So they're almost in the same spot we were in last year where I was saying it isn't that fair to judge this offense. You got a midget back there throwing the ball that can't see over the line. So if you want to talk about overall offensive talent between them, you can. You have to be fair and account that their starting quarterback, who's really good, is out for the whole year, hasn't played at all. That's going to bring down the offensive efficiency. But what if I bring up this point as the biggest one? What if I bring this up? It isn't about that number. It's about what your young new head coach that needs support wanted. Like, we could argue the reasons Utah's struggling on offense and doesn't have all that and all that. We could do all that. But what if I said that number be damned and all the reasons for it be damned? What about I just wanted my new, young, inexperienced head coach to have the support around him that he wants and he feels comfortable with? And that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And so that's one thing that I just think about, though, is even if Ludwig was dead last or whatever, what about the part of supporting your head coach with the guy that he wanted? What about that? Oh, man. 3. What in the world? This week is just, I am off. It must be the bye. I am off. My routine, my mental, something's going on. Look at this. And then we'll get back to the phones. 386 is going to be in the mix. John, you better take that necklace off because Pitt is going to smoke the Irish tomorrow. This fan base is delusional. Dude, how am I delusional for thinking Notre Dame should be able to beat Pitt when they're a 19-point favorite at home? Are you trying to make my head pop off the rest of my carcass? They're a 19-point favorite against 2-5 Pitt at home coming off a bye, and you're talking about us getting smoked? If that happens, I don't know what to say. There's a lot of things about the Notre Dame fan base that's delusional, hoping you can beat Pitt when they're 2-5 and you're a 19-point favorite at home ain't on the list. Unbelievable. There's a lot that goes on in the Notre Dame fan base that I admit is delusional. This ain't one of them, though. .386. You're in the mix. Good morning.
Woo-wee. Well, John, we sure got our hands stuck in the cookie jar on this one. This is your old buddy, pal, Brad Florida down here in Florida. I come in peace. I come in peace.
No, you don't.
How y'all doing?
You don't come in peace. What are you gonna, wait a second. Are you gonna call me? Are we gonna do this? Are you gonna call me and tell me? I want to make sure I'm setting this up correctly for anybody who doesn't remember. I'm pretty sure you're the Michigan fan that called me from Florida, right? Okay. Yes. All right. Are you going to call into this radio program and tell me Michigan did nothing wrong? Is that what we're going to do this morning?
Well, John, you know what? Right now I'm packing all my Michigan fan memorabilia up in a box, and I'm about ready to put it back in the closet because we cooked.
No,
we
you're
cooked,
not.
Johnny.
No, you're not. Come on.
No. Oh, yeah, Johnny, we're cooked. I mean, we might win the Natty this year, but I'll tell you what, it's going to get revoked. But I'll tell you what, I just want my Natty T-shirt. That way I can have an Error T-shirt, you know, like those Error baseball cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want my Error T-shirt that says Michigan Wolverines national championships. That way I can 50 years from now give it to my grandkids. You know what I mean?
Can I ask this? Do you really think that?
Yeah, man.
Do you think that a lot of this came from Ohio State or other rivals? Like, do you think that's real? That like Ryan Day's behind having a private firm look into all this stuff? Like, what do you believe as a Michigan guy? What do you believe the realities of that all are?
Let me be honest with you, John. Now, I'm an upstanding kind of guy. I am a Michigan fan, but I heard your program the other day, and you said something that was really true. If they did something wrong, then they did something wrong. It doesn't matter who said they did it wrong. It doesn't matter who's involved. It doesn't matter if it's Ryan Day, Mickey Mouse, or who knows who. Fact of the matter is, I mean, if the NCAA ain't going to step up, we got to get the Big Ten involved. We got to get other Big Ten schools involved. Heck, I was thinking the same thing you were thinking. What is Michigan leadership going to do about this? That's what I would want to know, because at some point they got to put their foot down and say, it don't matter who's saying what. If you did it, you did it.
Here's the issue that you have. The dynamics are such that I know Harbaugh and Ward Manuel have a rough relationship. It's just kind of out there that those guys have a rocky back and forth relationship, a kind of a business deal, but nothing else. It's rocky. The other factor that's moved is they got a new president. And I don't know Ono's relationship with Ward Manuel and Jim Harbaugh because he is newer. So I don't know where he falls in that whole stew. I'm not sure on that relationship. I would not be surprised at all if Harbaugh pulls a Pete Carroll on this one and sees the writing on the wall, or even if he thinks they're gonna like eventually get a slap on the wrist, I could see Harbaugh going, this is it. This is the final sign. I'm going to lose 20 guys to the draft, whether we win or not this year. I'm going to have to rebuild to a certain extent anyways. I could see him doing a Pete Carroll, going to the league, escaping anything that may or may not come down from this whenever this gets done. I could see him doing that. And I think some people at Michigan would like it. because it would be a way for them to act like they weren't going to have Harbaugh around doing wrong things, but Harbaugh kind of wanted to leave anyway. And it's a way for everybody to kind of save face, pull the exit cord, and get out. I think that's perfectly realistic. I don't think he'll be the coach next year. Do you?
Well, I totally agree, man. I think good old Jimbo is going to skate off into the sunset, into that NFL sunset, and we're going to be bad for another 10 years.
Now, you know what's going to happen, though, man? You know what's going to happen? I'm telling you.
We're going to lose.
No.
What's going to happen is we're going to vacate wins for the past 4 years.
Here's what's going to happen. I hope so. What? You wait. I'm gonna be like,
happen, man.
dude. I'm gonna be like, oh, Jimmy Harbaugh's out of Michigan. Like, I love that. And then he's gonna be Chicago's head coach, and I'm gonna have to deal with him every Sunday. He's gonna take the Bears job or something, and I'm gonna have him in my life more than he ever is in Michigan. He'll be in my life if he takes that Bears job, and then I'm gonna have Jimmy Harbaugh on every radio station where I'm around here forever. I might drive off the road. Unbelievable.
I tell you what, man, someone needs to make a T-shirt that says Michigan. Even when we beat Ohio State, we still didn't beat Ohio State, because that thing's going to get vacated.
Dude, I am not sure how far the NCAA wants to go here. Now, I do know they are out to get Harbaugh to a certain extent. They are. However, he's caused some of that by his interactions with them recently, okay? Like, he has caused that because he hasn't played nice with them, and he's kind of jerked them around and played some games and kind of being evasive with certain things they wanted him to talk about. So they are out to get him, but there are reasons for it. Both can be true at the same time. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how the NCAA is going to do this, how long it's going to take. They're really inefficient, bad at their jobs. I have no faith in them to do things efficiently or correctly, because they never do. Where's the Big Ten's responsibility, Michigan, man? Let me ask you that. Do they have a responsibility to protect their number one team and their biggest brand, or number two brand, depending on who you want to ask? What is their responsibility, to defend that, or to defend all their other schools that are going, we feel like we got wronged by Michigan? The Big Ten's in a rough spot. Where's their loyalty to?
Yeah.
It's awkward.
I'll tell you what, as a Michigan man, objectively, I feel like at this point, the Big Ten does need to step in. And I'm a diehard Michigan guy. Let me tell you what, only time we ever been good was when Jimbo was there. All right. But if you done wrong, you done wrong. You know what I'm saying, Johnny? So I think the Big Ten absolutely has to step in. They probably already have way more information than we already know. The NCAA was in Ann Arbor yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think they need to step in.
Hey,
because if everybody's just waiting for the NCAA to do it, it could be 2 to 3 years from now. Maybe it'll be next. Maybe it'll be next the spring or fall or summer or whatever. But other entities can step in right now.
People are saying you got a little Matthew McConaughey in you, and I'm hearing it now that somebody said it.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Yeah, I hear it. And also, here's the other thing.
All right.
Dude,
you know I'm from Michigan, Johnny. You know that? You know I've been to Notre Dame.
I got it. Well, then where the hell did this accent come from? If you're from Michigan, what did you grow that accent? The Everglades? Where the hell did it come from?
Yep, Brad acquired this accent 10 years ago down here in Florida, my man.
Oh, dude, I got to tell you, this is really upsetting me, because this is going way better than I thought it would. And it's really throwing me off a lot. I anticipated this being a very hostile discussion. And now I'm like, dude, I'm a little disappointed. I can't. Everything.
I mean, I can call you up next week and cuss at you if you want. You know what I mean?
Please do. I just want to feel normal again. But here's the thing that makes.
All right. Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Maybe in a couple of weeks I'll call you up. I'll cuss you out. You know what I mean? Then you can feel normal again. Jack.
I like that. That's good for me. Here's what I don't know, man, is I don't know what the NCAA is going to do, but whenever they do it, it's going to take a long time. I don't know the Big Ten's feeling of obligation of who to protect overall and how to do all that and navigate. Also, something else you have to think about. They are inviting, what is it, 4 more teams to join the Big Ten soon? They have an image and they want to show that they're fair to all their members and they don't want to show preferential treatment for one or the other. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on here that they have to navigate. And then the playoff committee.
Yes, sir.
And if I'm the playoff committee, I'm going to bet they're going to say that's an ongoing investigation. We can only go off what's on the field right now. I would bet you that's going to be their answer next week when they do the first release. They're going to say that. They're going to get asked by Reese Davis on that dumb ESPN show. And the guy's going to go, well, it's ongoing, so we're aware of it, but we can only go off the field. I'm just telling you, I don't want it to be that, but I know they're going to do it. That's what they're going to say.
Yeah, I think you're right, Johnny. I think they're going to get up there. They're going to say Michigan number 2 or Michigan number 1, and then blah, 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 blah.
Yep, that's what they're going to do, and they're going to rationalize it by saying nothing's done yet. Now, here's the difference, though, and I think you'll admit this. The difference is usually you hear about this crap and you find out the violations were like 3 years before and they're all gone. Everybody's gone and all that. What makes this so outstandingly different is this is going on now, all the way up till last weekend. It was going on. That is the part that really, to me, starts to change the dynamics here to where all the precedent of all these things before don't apply the same, because this is literally, you could argue, an advantage in the moment in games this year. I don't know whether that changes things or not. I'm just here for the ride.
I agree.
I'm here for the ride and the YouTube analytics, okay?
Let me tell you what, as a Michigan man, it's been some heck of a ride. Let me tell you right now, and it sure ain't over yet. So,
yeah.
Think about
this. Are you prepared for our
What if we do win the national title?
Are you prepared?
Think about that, and then it gets vacated.
It is going to be wild. That would be wild. Are you prepared for Harbaugh to leave, and are you fine with that? Like, are you just thinking that's how this is going to end?
Yeah, I actually thought that. Immediately when this all started, I started telling everyone around me, I'm like, this is not good.
Theirs is out.
And nobody believes me. So I just prepared myself mentally. I got the box out, like I said. I'm putting all my Michigan memorabilia, getting ready to put it in it. I can't wear a Michigan shirt to the gym, Johnny. What am I going to say to someone? Hey, my team cheats. Hey, how y'all doing?
I don't know.
I can't say that.
Well, I don't know. You're down there in SEC, ACC land too. I'm not sure how they're going to treat you. They don't treat my kind very good down there. I know that. They're not big Notre Dame fans. That's for sure. Down in that area.
Yeah, down here there are all these Gators, Florida Gators running around. We got some Miami Hurricanes here and there, but I'm in Gator territory down here. But and so.
Oh man, it's going to be, this is going to be, and you know what else too? Imagine the drama of Ohio State, Michigan this year. That is already an unbelievably intense game with the fans ready to go at it and all that emotion and build up in a regular year that is cranked to 11. Now you have all these allegations both ways. This is going to be cranked. I am so excited for that game.
I don't even know if Jim's going to be our coach that day.
Here's the other thing.
I don't even know if he's going to be our coach that day. I mean,
hey, I'm glad you brought that
someone
up.
Someone could step in, either the Big Ten or the Michigan
or
football, or Michigan, the university.
It crossed my mind. Follow me here. This is really upsetting me how productive this call is. It's really throwing me off. I don't like it. I don't like it. I was expecting this to go poorly. Here's what I think.
Well, Brad Florida likes to zig and zag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, man. You need more breakfast beers. Maybe you'll be more ornery then. Okay.
Well, I'm about ready to go on a 2-hour bike ride, so I can't have no Budweiser.
There you go. Here's what I'm thinking. If there's a way that they let Michigan play out the year, but that they make Harbaugh sit out, it's kind of a way for the Big Ten and Michigan to thread a needle to where that would be a little bit of an acknowledgement that something may have happened that was untoward. Not enough that we're not going to play and we're not going to let them play in the biggest game of the year and all that, but enough to where the NCAA and the Big Ten would feel like Michigan's kind of throwing some sacrificial lamb out there, kind of maybe admitting, okay, I get it. Maybe we pushed it over the line. We'll give you this at least. But I don't know if Michigan wants to do that. I don't know where their high ground is here. If they're going to hold firm on this didn't happen and it's all made up by angry rivals or what, I don't know. But I could see them making Harbaugh sit out as like a middle ground consolation of some admitting that you admit this is going on and it wasn't a great look. But I don't know. This is new. This is totally new territory.
I think if you're the university.
Totally new territory.
Yeah, if you're the university, your move right now today is to announce you're pulling Harbaugh. You're doing a self-imposed, and it's for the rest of the season.
Wow.
That's what you do. If you're the university, if you have the best interests in mind of the university, you got to do that.
Wow. That is just a really interesting angle because
if you ran Notre Dame, you ran Notre Dame, the school itself, and you found this out about your head coach, what would you do? Freeman or whoever, Lou Holtz even. If this was Lou Holtz, what would you do?
I think at a minimum, you would tell the guy you could be suspended with pay, but you cannot come back to the team until this is further adjudicated properly. I think that would probably honestly be the move you would have to make to show that you're respecting that there's an issue, but you're not going so far as to nail yourself in the ground. I think that's a middle ground where you go, you got to be out of here until we figure all this out. And so
exactly, Johnny.
I don't know.
On the same page.
Well, that's upsetting and disturbing. So this is just going to be really interesting, but I've seen a bunch of people go, I don't even know what the penalty could or would be for something like this because the guidelines are written in the bylaws so poorly and loosely and interpretive and everything else. They're like, people are like, I don't even know what the penalty could be. And it's unprecedented like this would be. It's a new situation. And the fact that it's in the year, it's a new situation. I don't know how it's going to get handled, but it's an interesting story, man. Interesting story.
Yeah. Well, we all know how these big NCAA stories turn out, right? Even if it's 5 years away.
Nothing.
Not good, right?
Yeah, it's just, I don't trust the NCAA to do anything. You may as well, them in Congress are like the two bodies with the most power that get the least done and that makes the most sense. Like, I just don't trust them. And so
they're like the government. They grind slow, but they grind.
They grind slow and they eat up your money while they're doing it. Like, that's the way it is. So I don't know, man, but this is going to be very, very interesting to see. And it's college football drama moves the needle, and it's just a big deal. So they move the needle, and Michigan moves the needle. And so this is going to be a story until it ain't anymore. That's it.
All right, my man. Well, hey, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for the call. Like I said, I come in peace, and maybe I'll give you a call in a couple of weeks and cuss you out. That will be even. How's that sound, my man?
You just flipped my world, and I was not ready for it. I thought this was gonna go terrible. I'm mad at you. This is disappointing.
Hey, maybe. No, I'll tell you what. I'll call you back up next time, and we'll go at it. We'll bring out the guns.
Thank you. Please come up with something. I don't like this, man.
All right, my man. I'll come up with something for you.
I thought this was gonna go terrible. I'm upset. I was ready to go to battle with that guy defending Michigan. This is so disappointing. So disappointing. Man. Dr. John, does Michigan have a major violation in the past 5 years? Looking at the NCAA death penalty. David, 407, I got you coming up. Here's the issue. So much of this is interpretive, okay? And these bylaws that can be interpreted different ways, extrapolated, all this stuff. Spirit of the rule type things. This is not legal. Like, this is not a court of law is what I mean. There's a different standard to apply anything. So everybody being like, well, in court, you need this. This is not court. This is kangaroo court. Let me ask this. what about you got one guy you hired that was a racist, and it was Shemi Schembachler, and he was an open, blatant racist, and you had to fire him. You had that Weiss or Weiss guy who's being investigated by the feds, and they're going through all your stuff with issues in different states related to what this guy did. So the feds are involved there. You got the COVID down period recruiting violations that are still ongoing and pending, where Jim Harbaugh was not truthful in his answers when asked about it. And then now you have this. I'm just asking, what part of that screams we have control of our institution? Like, I'm not trying to pile on. These are facts. These are facts. You hired a racist and had to fire him. You got another guy investigated by the feds. You got busted for low-level recruiting violations that are making it worse by not playing ball with the NCAA and dicking them around with your answers. And now you have this. I'm just asking, if that doesn't start to get near losing control of your institution, I don't know what could. You're getting hit from every angle here. So I know that's never going to be the case. But when I look at just the last segment of time, and I quickly came up with all of those really ugly issues, it ain't a good look. It ain't a good look. So I don't know. The hacking of Ohio State servers would be the best, since that's listen, that could just be Ohio State trolls doing what I'm doing, trolling, and they put that out there in the ether to get the smoke ramped up more, get the Michigan people mad. I cannot verify the veracity of those claims. I can't. So I don't know. But man, this is wild. Man, this is wild. John said, paid Sam Hartman $1 million to play 3 good games and be a game manager. Jom, your name's not John, it's Jom. Yeah. I don't know what you expect me to say to that. I cannot act like I'm not frustrated with the way the Hartman thing's gone. They didn't bring Sam Hartman in here to lose to Louisville and miss the playoff. That was never supposed to be the idea. You didn't bring Sam Hartman in here to have the offense get worse the more games it plays. Like, I'm not acting like Notre Dame's perfect. It's just that their problems are in a different realm than the ones Michigan has, right? And USC even. Notre Dame has their own issues, but they're very different ones. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm very frustrated. You don't bring Hartman in here and do all that to be out of playoff contention by the first weekend in October. Punch myself in the face. 407, welcome to the show.
John, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I'm ready to see Notre Dame play football again. It feels like it's been forever and all those other things are going on. I'm ready to see the boys play tomorrow.
I hear that, man. I definitely agree. But the only thing is, like you mentioned before, man, you always got to be on your toes with us, man. You know what I mean? Especially after that big win, had an off week.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Come out and
you never know what you're gonna get,
they
man.
come out and kick ass, but you just don't know.
Yeah, and listen. I really just hope to see the guys flying around out there. I realize Pitt isn't going to bring a lot of extra emotion, and they're not great, and their coach is an annoying little bitch. Like, I know all that. But I want to see Notre Dame excited to play again off the bye. I want to see them have more energy and more pop, and like they're ready to go on this final third of the year and build us a good ramp into the Clemson game, which will be a bigger game no matter what. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see them guys flying around tomorrow.
Of course. I mean, what we want to see is not always what we get, but we're going to try to stay hopeful as Notre Dame fans. But I mean, the sad part that I'm worried about, man, is that we kind of like blew our load with USC. We got the monkey off the back with them, beat a top-ranked team, got Caleb back in excellent fashion. I kind of feel like emotionally, I don't know if there's anything left on the schedule, even with Clemson, to really pull them through. Because, we want to get a New Year's Six. We want to get that monkey off our back, like the last caller said. But, I mean, as Notre Dame fans, you kind of feel deflated. You got to wonder if the team's kind of that same mindset. I know that, Freeman says, one play, one life and all that stuff. But, I mean, let's be realistic. The juice from all the naysayers and getting our asses handed to us by USC the year before and a rivalry game. I mean, that was the last big one really on our schedule. So I think we got to be careful coming off the bye week. What are we really chasing? How's the team morale going to be? You know what I mean? And, of course, we want to see them come out there and just lay the smack on everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
it's Notre Dame. And the bye week, listen, every time Notre Dame gets back into action coming off a bye, I'm a little nervous of like.
No, but good point, John. It did feel like a bowl. The energy felt like a bowl game in that game. You know what I mean? So good point.
But like, I just worry you're out of your routine. There's not the same level of intensity because you're off. And like, can you crank that knob back up when you need to tomorrow afternoon? Like, I want to see them fired up and ready to go here and take care of Pitt.
Exactly. Game day's not there. It's not a night game, if I'm correct. It's 3:30, isn't it?
Yes. Yep. It'll be 3:30.
Yeah, I mean, you put all those factors in there, and it's cause for concern.
Now, let me ask you this. I got to ask you, how much is realistic for me to expect out of the offense tomorrow? I am hopeful over the bye that we find a way to be more efficient and find some new wrinkles. Is that realistic of me to expect, or are we just what we are? And I'm setting myself up to throw a beer at the TV when we have the same offensive struggles tomorrow that we've had. Like, what is realistic to hope for out of the bye in that area? I want to know. I don't have the answer.
Realistically, in my opinion, just based off being a Notre Dame fan for over 30 years, seeing this play out the same way every year, I mean, they're probably going to come out and struggle with Pitt, unfortunately, or maybe play sloppy as hell and then pull away in the second half
and then wake
by
up
a touchdown or two. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't think Hartman's really engaged anymore because he's not in the Heisman talk anymore, which is sad. He had one bad game really against Louisville, you know what I mean, with the picks. But other than that, he's played very efficient, but he just hasn't really been able to open up. I mean, we've talked ad nauseum from all the callers and just on the show in general about, the regression of this offense. You know what I mean? And I don't think Hartman really has the same motivation. You know what I mean? So does he really have any motivation to just try to make plays off like, breaking out of the pocket and just making things happen when things break down from the vanilla ass offense that we have called, it's really pretty annoying with the talent that we have, to be honest with you. Yeah, we may not be elite, but we are on that cusp, and it's just frustrating.
It is. And that's the other reason, too. I don't want to get ahead of myself. That's another reason that Clemson game is going to be a huge one, in my opinion, because if you were able to win that game, you would be able to flip the narrative of the big three, right? We won one, lost two last year. At least if you did that, you would be able to flip that and show that big game improvement and say we were able to flip that and win two and lose one by 1/2 inch or whatever. That is a sign of like some bigger picture process, looking at the same big brand names 2 years back to back and all that. But there's no.
I want to hope for that, John. Really, I do. But I mean, if we're being realistic, let's track back. USC was the game for us left. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was the one left. Clemson's down. So it's not going to do the fans any justice. If anything, Clemson has the motivation in that game because we whooped their ass last year.
Oh yeah.
Now we embarrassed them.
I'm telling you. See, but I don't want to get into talking about Clemson. But my early position on them is, if you think they're going to roll over and play dead at their place just because Notre Dame comes to town and they're out of playoff and ACC title contention,
they're not.
You're wrong. It's just not in their DNA. They're not going to do it. Don't mistake that for me saying they're good. I'm not saying they're good. I am saying they're not going to just lay down and let Notre Dame do whatever to them at their place. That ain't going to happen.
Right.
Now, I do like that it's a day game and not a night game. Gives them 10 less hours to drink.
That makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah. It gives them 10 less hours to drink 80 glasses of moonshine or whatever they do in Carolina and be loud.
Yeah, but they're watching that film, John, from last year, man. You know, Dabo's got him watching Adam Shorn circle in that game. You guys got creamed in South Bend by a team that shouldn't be beating us.
But man, they
opinion.
have problems,
you know
though.
what I mean?
But I'm sorry, though. Clemson has problems, though. Objectively.
Oh, they do, for sure. They've got problems, but I mean, they're still capable of beating good teams. Maybe not elite teams,
especially at home. Yeah, no. You're really right about that. If Notre Dame doesn't play like above average overall, it's going to be an absolute dogfight all night. Like Notre Dame's got to play really, really good but I don't want to get ahead of myself on that one. So I just hope
for sure.
I'm excited to see Notre Dame back out there, and it would be really nice if they just came out and played good. And you felt as a fan like that bye week, a lot of work got done. Like maybe that shouldn't matter to me, but I want to feel like a lot of progress got made on the bye week and that they were really productive during it. And if you see a sloppy game tomorrow, you're not going to think that. You're not going to think that if it looks like shit.
And if they can run the ball and move the line of scrimmage on Pitt, which they should be able to, then they should just run them right over, control the clock, cream them the whole game, and just control it. We should really have backups by the second half.
Notre Dame is a 19. I think they were a 19-point favorite when I saw it yesterday. A 19-point favorite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think even with Louisville being up, we kind of thought we were going to smash them too. It really is about us. That's the sad part. We're at a point now where it's not even where I feel like in years past that Notre Dame was outmatched. You know what I mean?
That's a very, very good point. That's a very, very good. And so
you know what I mean? Like that's what's so frustrating about this year.
It's frustrating.
This year I feel like, man, we really had it. You know what I'm saying? We had it. Just a few tweaks were needed. Our defense, you know, there's some lack of tackling, but I mean, they're nasty. I feel like our defense can hang with any team in the country as long as our offense would put up some damn points. If our offense put up continued 35 to 42 points a game, and that defense does what it does, even with a slightly off game, because they play solid against really great offenses. Look what they did to. I mean, I know USC has a trash offensive line, but their receivers, the quarterback. Look what we did against Marvin Harrison. You know what I mean? Junior. Look what we did against them. I mean, they don't have the quarterback, but I mean, their receivers made that quarterback look even better than he probably is just yet or what he will be. You know what I mean? So our defense is nasty.
Yeah,
and that's what's frustrating, because you see our big backs in our line, and we're like, our receivers aren't terrible. Our quarterback, he's got that extra. It's just I feel like I don't know what happened to him, but something happened where maybe the play calling or like everybody has kind of said and regurgitated, maybe the lack of control to change calls at the line. But I just feel like this guy looks like he's playing with his hands behind his back all of a sudden. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's really frustrating.
Yeah. All right. Now let me give you a flip side to this. Okay. Nikki Dean, good to see you, man. Kent, good to see you in here. Let me give you a flip side of this. So you said one of the frustrating things about this year was the games that we lost. It wasn't like you're playing Alabama or whatever, or that unbelievable Clemson team in the playoff where you knew physically we were not able to match up in those environments. Like you just knew physically there's no way we can match up. All right. And you were kind of screwed before you even got going there. That is really frustrating that now we're in a position where if we did better at what we could control, we would be in a better position. That is frustrating, but it's also a good sign because it does show.
For sure.
It shows you're not physically getting bullied off the field by Ohio State and their top 5 recruiting every year, that you just can't even hang with them and you're blowing off the line and you look smaller and slower and don't even belong out there.
Yeah, we literally gifted them that game, and that's not a shot to Ohio State fans. You either win or you don't get in those positions to talk about what should have, could have happened.
Yeah.
And
so I think that's
even
good.
the Ohio State fans know. They're like, hey, you guys had us, and you literally gifted it to us. Thank you, we'll take it. But I guess you guys ain't figured it out yet, even when you can win.
And so the transition needs to be, there's a progression here. And so we weren't even physically able to compete in a lot of these games before. Now we're to the point where you're like, if we just did better what was in our control, we're maybe undefeated right now, whatever. That's perfectly realistic to say. Now the next step needs to be, how do we tighten this all up now? Keep the talent and athleticism level getting better, because now we know we can keep doing that. And then how do you get to the mental or physical point where we're making the game winning plays, against Ohio State instead of losing? How do you get in a situation where you could survive another team's Super Bowl on the road and not have a Louisville? Like, there are levels to this, but it is a good sign overall that Notre Dame belongs on the field now. It's not obvious they don't. That wasn't the case not that long ago.
Sure, yeah.
Not that long ago. That wasn't the
I think the
case.
offensive coordinator plays a big role in that. Offensive coordinator is going to be big. And again, I know we're all kind of saying the same spiel, but we all pretty much see it. Just need some better play calling, better schemes, things like that. That'll come with experience. Marcus is a fantastic recruiter, all the stuff that we've heard. The Michigan man, speaking of which, actually had a good point that he had brought up, about like Georgia and things. And to your point, John, yeah, we're on that cusp. And that's exciting, even though it's frustrating, because I mean, look at Georgia. Georgia, I made a joke to Uncle Lou, shout to his show, even though I like your show more. But I made a point to him about when he was kind of clowning Notre Dame in his comments that, Georgia was the Notre Dame of the SEC, in my opinion. They couldn't win the big games and everybody clowned them. Now they're the big dogs, pun intended. You know what I mean? So it takes that turn, like the Michigan man said. And I think Notre Dame is right there, man. What's really kind of ironic about what he said as well is a parallel as Notre Dame fans to him as a Michigan fan. Yeah, I want us to win that damn championship in my lifetime after 30 plus years watching them, just so I can at least have a damn shirt that, I've seen them win one, and not only my grandfather witnessed all the glory. You know what I mean? Because mine is all about heartbreak.
Yeah.
Nope. And it started with it started like when I was younger in '93. I won't go too far to take too much longer on the line, but I watched them beat FSU in South Bend, and that cemented me. You know what I mean? As a young kid with my grandfather watching.
And
that.
then the cement cracked it out 1 week later.
Like, ever since the Boston College field goal, it's been the same damn repeat.
Yeah, that cemented it. And then the next week you got buried under that cement. Good job. Like, yeah, you go. You should have learned then what you were in for, buddy. Like, it's just
but you know what? I mean, you gotta love this team, man, and all the true Notre Dame fans. I mean, we're gonna cherish that one when we see it, and we're right there. We're on that cusp. Some people are gonna say, that's not possible. Yeah,
man,
whatever. This is college football.
Here's the way I look at this. Here's the way I look at this, and I genuinely mean this in my heart, my soul. This is how I stay sane. Okay, all these years and all the pain and the uniquely absurd, dumb stuff that has happened to Notre Dame, game results, off the field, whatever, all the stuff, all the pain, the heartbreak, all of it. It's got to all come back sometime. And when it does, if we ever reach the pinnacle again, and any of us are alive for it, the more miserable we all were, the happier we'll be when it comes full circle. I'm a believer in that. I let the misery soak in me in faith that when we do turn it around and it's flipped, I will be rewarded for fighting through all that pain. And it's a uniquely Notre Dame thing, man, but I want it all to come first full circle one day, and every bit of that will be worth it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, God willing, it will. That we'll all get a chance to see it in our lifetime. And I mean, I think we're on the cusp of that without any crazy shakeups like what's going on with Michigan. And, we get to that pinnacle, and then all the crap that the Michigan man was saying could happen. I mean, it's college football. You got to love the drama, man. That's what we're tuning in for.
Man, yeah, it's so
we
great.
We need blood pressure meds for it, but,
man, I'm telling you.
You can't say you're not entertained.
Dude, college football drama is the most unique. It is just so beautiful and so ramped up. And one little thing is just the knob gets cranked to multiply it by 100. It is just beautiful. Like, I love it, man. It's just college football drama is just great. Really good call today, man. Anything on the way out? I enjoyed this.
Sure, man.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
the time, John. And I just want to leave you with an appreciation for your show, man. I think you're doing fantastic stuff. Congrats on the joint venture. I've been listening in for about 2.5 years, and never a dull moment. You always speak the truth, and you're doing big things, man. So, hopefully the fan base, we get a good win this weekend. Stay positive. Good things coming, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. Jaded Clay says John's headstone will be. I got plans for that. Are you kidding me? You guys, some of you don't know. I worked for the Archdiocese of Joliet and in the Archdiocese of Chicago system for over 10 years. I dealt with monuments and headstones all the time. I was in charge of all the cemetery structure within the diocese. I was running all the Catholic cemeteries in those dioceses, dealing with the problems and negotiating with the union labor that does all the labor to dig the graves and negotiating, handling problems, doing all that, selling the monuments and the prearranged packages. Death was my game for a long time. I got all sorts of plans for my headstone. I'm not going to share them, but you could damn sure bet there's some Always Irish in there. Come on, man. This is who I am, even after death. Nothing to say about my prediction, John? Yeah, no. Like, the only reason you said 31-17 Pitt is to get me mad. I can't get mad at you when there's no logical argument for you to make that prediction. There's nothing Pitt does that could make you logically think that. You're just saying it to try and get me mad. So that's why I didn't make a big deal about it, because it's not like there's no reason to pick them 31-17 over us other than to hope it affects my blood pressure. Notre Dame can't score, I agree, but how did they get 31? 385 makes it come alive. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, John, good morning. I didn't expect to get on so soon.
I can barely hear you.
John, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're real.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you.
I didn't expect to get on so soon. Hey, man, I want to agree with that last caller, man. He had some good points, you know. As far as Hartman does, but like I said, I love the dude. I think he's fast back, man, but
dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I can't hear you at all, man. I don't know if you're in a bad spot, but you sound like you're down the end of a 900-mile tunnel. I love when he calls. I couldn't hear anything, and then it cut out, man. You sound really, really, really far away, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do that to you. I ain't trying to do you wrong. I love when you call. 562, what do you want to do? Call me back, 385, I think it was, if you can get a better line. What's going on, 562? Good morning.
Good morning, dude. How's it going?
It's going good, right? I mean, there's always college football drama all over the country. Notre Dame's getting back into action. We're winding down the final stretch of the regular season. There's a lot going on for college football fans, and I'm excited to see my Irish get back on the field tomorrow. Damn it. Play good and beat Pitt.
Yeah, I know. And, Michigan is hopefully going to get what they deserve. Let's see, USC. You made a good point throughout preseason, during the season, that we shouldn't let Marcus Freeman let USC win again, right? So we won that battle, and pretty decisively. So
that was a big
glad
deal
they
to me.
lost.
That was a huge.
That was a big deal.
It was a big picture, existential Notre Dame priority. Like, in my mind, there's no way I could feel comfortable with Notre Dame and USC, these mortal enemies that live by 100% opposing values every day in the way they do everything about their lives, to have two new young head coaches start at the exact same time, so it all lines up together, and then have my guy be 0-2 against USC. I could not ever be okay with that. That would have eaten me alive. You can't start out 0-2 against USC at Notre Dame. I love that Marcus balanced the ledger, and they have nothing but problems out there now. I love it.
Yeah, me too. And speaking about problems, they're probably going to lose at least another 2, maybe 3.
I want the 3, baby. Give me the 3. I want Washington. I want Oregon, and give me that UCLA, baby. I want 3 more. I do.
Yeah, but then that problem's probably going to get transferred to your Bears, dude. Right?
You know what, though? Listen, I'll take that. I will deal with either Lincoln Riley and Caleb coming to the Bears as a package deal, and or Jim Harbaugh coming to the Bears, just because of what it would do to the college fans, because that's more my world than the NFL. I watch the Bears, but I don't let them ruin my life the way I've let Notre Dame ruin my life. So I would gladly take having to deal with either one of those situations professionally, here on the radio every day, here in the paper every day, online every day here. I would rather deal with that
Yeah.
than have USC or Michigan people happy about what's happening in college. That is a swap I will take either way.
Yeah, dude, and it's funny. I have a bunch of USC buddies, and they thought that when Lincoln got there, like, you know, where we got Caleb, or, you know, the glory days are right in the cups of our hands, and they thought that they were going to be winning natties again, and turns out that that's quite the opposite. And I started to discover, because I knew Lincoln Riley was a pretty good recruiter for like quarterbacks. I mean, he's had Heisman winning quarterbacks under his belt, but I mean, at the same time, he really hasn't done anything. Like, kind of like a Brian Kelly, you win the games you're supposed to win, and
all right,
but you really didn't do anything for OU.
Here's where this gets interesting. Once we're on the bye, we beat USC, then they have the rough night against Utah as well, back to back. Okay, after that, and us being on the bye, I had a little extra time, and I watched some of the USC media because I wanted to see what they were saying, the people that do what I do kind of for them. They're starting to not like the recruiting. They're starting to get a little nervous about the recruiting, and these beat guys are going, he is starting to lose some guys from LA, USC pipelines, and they want to go to Oregon or they want to go to Washington. They are not thrilled with where that's at. And that is a great sign to me. I like that they're already saying too many of these guys that are in what should be USC pipelines are leaving. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, 100%. And speaking about like recruiting and all that stuff, Marcus Freeman, you know, he mentioned this week that there's a possibility that we might go in the transfer portal again for a quarterback. Like, isn't that a bad sign when we're trying to recruit 5-star talent essentially at the quarterback level, and you can't develop them?
It is a
like, shouldn't we be starting like Minchie or something?
It is a very tricky, touchy dynamic that you got to get right. And here's what I think they want. I think they want to find the one guy that is the guy, hitch their wagon to him, and grow for a couple or a few years together. And I just think they don't feel like they're in the position to do that yet. Either they're not sure what they have in Minchie, or if Angeli has that kind of ceiling, or CJ's not in here yet. Where is he going to be? I would like to think Marcus wants to hitch his wagon to a young quarterback and grow and develop, but it has to be the right young quarterback with the appropriate upside on the big end, where you're willing to live through some growing pains from a younger guy. And I just don't know if they know who that guy is yet and when they could start doing it. I don't think they want to do this transfer portal thing either, but they also don't want to lose 4 games next year. So there's a big balance, and you got to hitch your wagon to a homegrown guy at some point. I just don't think that they're in a position to feel like they're ready to do it and make that decision yet. That's what I think is going on. And so you're in this weird middle area, and that's where I think we're at. Does any of that make sense, or am I out of my mind again?
No, it does make sense, but I also think that having an offensive coordinator that can call plays efficiently would help as well.
Yeah, you could only dream, right? You could only dream.
Exactly.
How dare you? Where do you get off asking for these fancy things like a functioning offense at the University of Notre Dame? Where do you get off?
Yeah. And I'm surprised Spencer Schrader has been performing a lot better. So there's a lot of things in Notre Dame land that doesn't make sense, but you know, we're starting to figure it out, hopefully.
Yeah, and so it's just Notre Dame's complicated, man. Nothing's ever straightforward with Notre Dame. It's all up and down and zigging and zagging and all these momentum shifts and vibes up and down. Like Notre Dame is it is a roller coaster, man. And I need you to beat the hell out of Pitt tomorrow. Can you do that at home? Get out of the bye and just beat a bad team by a lot. And then maybe I don't have a stroke in the fourth quarter.
Over everything.
Like, do I have to have a stroke in the fourth quarter against Pitt? I'm going to have a stroke while we're playing a stroke. This Narduzzi. I don't like the guy. Blow him out.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about Clemson, man. Like, and I know like they kind of fell off a little bit, but they're still Clemson, right? Like they still have the capability to beat you. I'm not overlooking Pitt. I do think we'll win, but I don't know. Like if there's one game that concerns me the rest of this season is that Clemson one at Clemson.
Oh yeah, no, that should surprise you or worry you. I mean, listen, they got coaching issues. They're especially on offense. Dabo has surrounded himself with a bunch of yes men, former players, and people from his network that don't have a lot of experience or credibility yet. And I believe you're seeing some of that taking hold. And it's just kind of rough. And so they have some coaching problems, some development problems. But there's still enough talent there. If Notre Dame goes in there and messes around, they're going to lose. Notre Dame's got to play a good, solid game to beat them at their place. If we mess around, we're going to lose. But if we play a really good game, we should win. That's how I look at it. If we mess around at all, you can lose. It'll be a coin flip, end of the game, back and forth. If we show up, you should be able to beat them.
Yeah, just like USC, man. Just smoke them. But I do think we win. My prediction this week, I don't know, like 48 to maybe, I don't know, maybe 21.
Where are we getting 48? Where are you finding 48 points out of Parker's offense? Are we getting a block kick and another pick six and a kick return? It feels to me like it'd take him 4 games to score 48.
Listen. We needed rest. We barely got rest. And I think that these boys are going to be charged up, ready to play football at home. And I think we're going to put points on the board. I'm critical over Parker, too.
Wait, though, man. All the rest in the world isn't going to change the plays this guy's calling that don't make sense.
We put it up in the beginning of the season. It's still possible. Right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. And I guess you're right. And if you want to say we did it earlier in this season, then I would say to you, yeah, against bad teams. And then you're going to say, well, what do you think most of the back end of this schedule is? So, yeah, I guess you're right in that regard. Right? Yeah. And the other thing, too,
you checkmated yourself, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you that one. But on the other thing is, I'm really hoping having Greathouse back and having both the Jadens and Thomas, having them back healthy, maybe that alone will open up the offense when you have those guys open and they're making catches and blocking and all that. Maybe that'll help alone, just getting some of those guys healthy with both the Jadens. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully we see some more passes in the air, long passes. I know Parker is not too fond of those kind of plays, but, hopefully we turn up this weekend.
Yeah, and I do expect a good defensive performance regardless. Like defense travels more consistently than offense does, like week to week, game to game. Their offense is not good. I expect Notre Dame's defense to have a very, very good afternoon. Like I really do. I need them to have a really good afternoon. Just take care of business, man. It's 2-5 Pitt. Like I'm not here to be stressed out about 2-5 Pitt. You're at home, show up, play good ball, win the game. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for the call today.
No, yeah, that's about it. I'm just super happy that we beat USC. I didn't get a call these past couple of weeks, but yeah, it's been amazing. I'm still on that high. So.
Yeah, what a great way to go in the bye. You know how many times I pulled up the little YouTube clips, the 5-minute clip with the highlights? Dude, every time I have an extra 5 minutes, I pull that up and watch the Price. You know how many hundreds of times I've watched Price take that one little step in the middle of the field and turn left and he took that one heel he dug in and turned it left. I've been watching it 100 times. I need a life.
Xavier Watts.
I need a life.
Xavier Watts highlights, all of the above.
I need a life. Anyways, man, thank you for the call. I really appreciate it. And enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game tomorrow, okay?
You too, buddy. Yeah.
Have a good one, buddy. How much time you got, buddy? 10th man stand, hit your wagon, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what you want him to do. Like, I realize every single thing you type here is negative. I realize that. Like, I'm going into this discussion acknowledging that I know everything you say here is negative against Notre Dame or me or Freeman. I get that. Hit your wagon, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what you want him to do then. You don't want him to go in the portal and find somebody. You don't want him to find a young guy to make their guy and develop. What's the other option then? An alien drops out outer space and starts playing quarterback? Who wins, Duke or Louisville? Oh God, I don't know what Louisville team I'm going to get, but I know Duke's going to play defense, borderline elitely. But I don't know if I could trust Louisville to show up. But I think he's just saying you belabored that point before. I'm sorry, it came up again in this call. What do you want me to do? I can only talk about some one time on one show? Need to see a real offense this week. Go Irish. Dad, I don't know if you're going to get it. Senior, I don't know if you're going to get it. So get ready to be frustrated, Pops. Like, I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. Pitt, Adam Dowling says, Pitt plays us tough at home. Yeah, you know what? You know what that always reminds me of is that stupid 2012 game that we should have lost 5 times. You want to talk about like it might be your year, do something. You got off the hook 20 times in that Pitt game. They had no excuse to lose that game to us the way they did. Missing the field goal. But it shows you again, Pitt will pop up and bite your ass if you let them. They're a pain in the ass. Pain in the anus. Duke, Louisville. I know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Mike Elko. I don't know if you're asking who I want or who I think. Duke's going to play good defense. I'm just not sure they're going to score. Louisville, I just don't know what I'm going to get out of them after at all. You know, they play with their hair on fire against us and then no show again. I just don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know. Again, I just can't handle this. You better take the necklace off. Pitt's going to smoke the Irish. This fan base is delusional. There's no football way you could predict Pitt to win this game. There's a reason the spread's up over 20. Like, yeah, I'm not going to let you get me mad about that. Jason Smith. I think some people went all in on Freeman being able to carry the weight in a lacking wide receiver room. That's a very rare occurrence. They are good but not superstars that should be expected put on the team. Yes. Very well stated, actually. I think a lot of people, it was kind of like, all right, we got these younger athletic guys, and we're going to have freshmen play, but they're capable of it, blah, 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 blah. What no one wants to talk about, and every time John says it, he takes shit. If we're going to have a discussion about why the wide receiver room isn't where it needs to go, the discussion's going to start with Brian Kelly and what he allowed to happen in the wide receiver room for multiple years that all piled up and is now a shitstorm in our lap now. Having wide receiver classes with only one committed wide receiver in it. Having guys that come in and flame out. Having guys that transfer out. It's been on a wrong track for a very long time. And it's going to take some time to dig out of it. Cam Williams is going to help a lot, but you're learning it took multiple years to get the wide receiver situation in the shitter to the extent it was. It's also going to take multiple to get it out of the shitter. But I'm not letting anybody just be like, oh, that's all Freeman's fault. Dude, the guy that came before him literally ruined the wide receiver room. The recruiting was bad. The evaluating was bad. The development was bad. Multiple years. That wide receiver room was crashing and burning. You don't just bounce back from that unless you get four-star high school recruits and then go grab 3 portal guys that are number 2s around the country somewhere for other teams. So it's just really, really frustrating, man. But I'm not. If you want to acknowledge where that problem is now, you have to also openly acknowledge why we're in it. Brian Kelly. He allowed that whole thing to devolve in the crapper, and then he went to Mardi Gras, put his beads on, went to Mardi Gras, showing it off. That's what he did. So you got to dig out of that. And thinking that a bunch of freshmen are going to be the ones to do it all year ain't realistic unless those freshmen are Zachariah Branch. You want to give me Egbuka and Zachariah Branch? Now I'm talking. The freshmen can make a difference. But if you're not able to do that, it's going to be a process of building it back up. We have all the 4 stars in the wide receiver room. What is your point? If they're freshmen, it doesn't matter as much. 4 stars isn't good enough for freshmen. You got to be Zachariah Branch to be able to make that work as a freshman. I don't care if you're a 4-star. If you have no experience, it's going to be a problem. You got to be an out-of-the-world elite athlete, Zachariah Branch, to walk right in there and make it and change the dynamic. We don't have that. So I don't know. Tom Frawley, I got a problem. I got a problem with you. I got to ask. I know this was 2 hours ago, Tom. But did I see you put in the chat that your big tailgate party in the North Lots for the game tomorrow is canceled because 20 people backed out of your party? What the hell's going on here? How did 20 people back out of going to a tailgate in a game they already have tickets to? 20 freaking people. And now you said you got 5 people going. What are all those other people doing? I thought this was the plan. We were having a party. I'm assuming they all have tickets. What the hell happened? I don't like that they're leaving you hanging, Tom. Maybe some of my people can find you. I don't like that they're leaving you hanging. 20 people. The hell? Oh, man. Kent's going to let out some frustration. The post office won't let me be great right now. They're holding you down, man. Don't let the man hold you down, Kent. The damn government entity. I know you like the government benefits and all that. Don't let the man hold you down, Kent. Don't let the man hold you down. Wine and cheesers, yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. So I don't know why, you guys. This is a weird don't go postal, Kent. I'm so mad I didn't think of that. I'm ending the show. I'm so disappointed in myself. He works at the post. He works for the government at the post office, and then he said, don't go postal on him. I just can't. I don't think I'm going to be able to get over the fact I did not think of that. That's how much that frustrates me. All right, here's the deal for the rest of the weekend. Instead of doing a pregame thing tonight, I'm doing it live with Mike Goolsby tomorrow. He is going to join me like an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes before the game. Him and I are going to be there. We are drinking beer, shooting the shit about Notre Dame. It's just going to be a fun tailgate, lighthearted. I want you guys to drink some beers, and we're just going to have a good time leading into the game. So Mike and I are going to be on here. Jaded. Mike and I are going to be on it, not on Patreon. This is all free, just like this tomorrow. So I'll put out reminders and a link and everything. But an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes for the game, we're going to start. We just want to... Sharky61, happy Friday, John. I just retired today. Congratulations, Sharky. Congratulations. I really hope you enjoy your retirement, and there's a lot of good Notre Dame wins in there for you. And I really appreciate you being here after you retired, man. You could be going to do anything else in your life. But I respect people who make it to retirement and put in a good long run of work, honest, hard work. Good for you. Very happy for you. So what we're going to do is I have something tonight I'm going to post. I want you guys to have coverage, and I'm doing another trick-or-treating thing with my daughter, and I want to do that. I like Halloween, favorite holiday other than St. Patrick's Day. And so tonight I will post something for Friday night viewing, so you guys aren't left hanging. I want to make sure you have something. There will be a video for you to have. And then tomorrow we're going to do the pregame stream with Goolsby. Then we have the game. And then me and Pat are going to do our postgame routine. So we're going to have you covered all day. Me and Goolsby before, and then me and Pat after. It is beautiful. That is an always Irish sandwich. That being said, weird week, weird vibes, a lot going on. I don't quite know what to make of it all. Not enough talk about Pitt, a lot of drama with other people I don't like. There's just a lot going on. That's why I love college football. Thank you to everybody for subscribing, calling, chatting, donating, subscribing to Patreon. Everybody, I love it. This show has grown a lot this year, and it is not because of me. It's because of you guys. It ain't because of me. You guys are the heartbeat and the energy that make this all happen. It ain't me at all. It's you guys. So thank you to everybody and the new people that joined in the last couple days because they saw me trolling Michigan. If you don't like them, I like you. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see ya. Stay tuned tonight. I got a video for you.